Approved electricity tariff increases, financial impact, and strategic response briefing. For those managing commercial and industrial facilities in South Africa, business owners, financial managers, and asset managers, understanding our current trajectory is absolutely critical. In this explainer, we're looking at a reality where approved electricity tariff increases are now compounding past 18% across just 2 financial years. And to be clear right off the bat, this isn't some worst-case forecast. This is a decided reality. 18.4%. Let that number sink in for a second. As I mentioned, that's not a projection. That decision has been taken by the regulator, it's implemented, and it's quite literally already sitting in the accounts of every single commercial and industrial operation in the country. And the hard truth? Most 5-year corporate energy budgets simply weren't built to absorb this kind of compounding cost. So let's walk through the arithmetic slowly. On March 5, 2026, the regulator approved an average electricity price increase of 8.76% for customers supplied directly by Eskom. That kicked in on April 1, 2026. Now, for municipal bulk purchasers, that average is 9.01%, implemented on July 1, 2026. Following this, looking ahead to the next cycle, the regulator went ahead and approved an 8.83% increase for the subsequent financial year, effective April 1, 2027. Compound those decisions, and 100 Rand of electricity in March 2026 becomes 118 Rand and 36 cents by April 2027. That's your 18.4% increase across a 24-month period. Let's translate that compounding reality into the language of a budget. Imagine an operation spending exactly 1 million Rand a year on electricity. In year 1, it spends 1,087,600 Rand. In year 2, that jumps to 1,183,600 Rand. So, against a budget line that was held flat, the operation is suddenly short 87,600 Rand in year 1 and a further 183,600 Rand in year 2. Stop and consider that financial impact. That is 271,200 Rand of completely unbudgeted operating cost across 24 months. And that is on a single line item, for an operation that changed absolutely nothing about how it buys energy.
Now, you might be wondering how we got here, especially since the originally scheduled increase was much lower, 5.36% to be exact. Well, in late 2025, the High Court actually rejected a closed-door settlement between the regulator and the utility. They ruled that the public had to be consulted first. That rejection led directly to a public consultation and ultimately a court-ordered redetermination in February 2026. That redetermination had to address an additional shortfall of 54.7 billion Rand, and that massive figure is now being recovered through tariffs in very distinct structural phases. 12 billion Rand is being recovered in the 2026-2027 financial year, 23 billion in 2027-2028, and the remaining 19.7 billion will carry over beyond the current determination period. It's this specific, unavoidable, phased recovery that violently pushed the immediate 2026 increase up to that 8.76% mark. The debt is baked into the system, and it is being recovered straight from your operations. But there's a second major trap here. The municipal increase is merely an average of 176 licensed municipal and private distributors. Budgeting off the national average is a critical error for multi-site operations. Why? Because the spread beneath that average is incredibly wide. Just look at the differences. Cape Town approved the lowest increase at 7.5%. Johannesburg City Power came in at 8.63%, Tshwane at 8.7%, Nelson Mandela Bay at 9.5%, and eThekwini sitting at 10.09%. Then it climbs steeply, with Ekurhuleni at 12.7% and Buffalo City peaking all the way up at 14%. An operation with sites in both Cape Town and East London is absorbing 2 completely different cost curves. If your group budget relies on the national average figure, ask yourself how accurate your forecasting really is, because the reality is it's fundamentally wrong for almost every site you run. At this juncture, boardroom conversations usually pivot straight to solar panels, battery storage, or wheeling. They really shouldn't. The very first strategic move must always be a measurement decision, not a technology decision. Measurement is your absolutely crucial starting point. Installing hardware before measuring means you are literally buying a solution to a problem that hasn't even been precisely defined yet. A deliberate strategy follows a strict, logical sequence. First is energy consultancy. This means reading the actual tariff structure a site sits on, knowing the approved increase for that specific municipality, and mapping the exact load profile behind the account. Second is business development, where the commercial route is built.
This means identifying a counterparty, a structure, and a timetable. Only third comes product and service endorsement, where technical solutions are rigorously scrutinized before a single cent of capital is committed. And finally, fourth is funding origination. This means arranging the capital so a perfectly viable project doesn't just die waiting for a balance sheet. Analyzing the numbers and the commercial route must always precede committing capital to technical solutions.
Now, doing nothing is often perceived as a neutral stance. Let me be clear, it is not. Doing nothing is a firm, active commitment to absorb an approved 18.4% cost increase over 2 years, compounding right on top of average annual increases that approached 15% over the past 5 years. It's an incredibly expensive decision. It's just one taken by default rather than on purpose. Before we close, ask yourself, is your current energy strategy built for the market we actually have right now, or the market you wish we had? The arithmetic is public. The decisions have been taken. What is still open is what each operation chooses to do with the 2 years it can still see clearly. If you want the full briefing, everything is available at inertiaenergy.co.za under Resources.